Alright, so... Oh, right, fucking... the microphone. Boop. Cool, I'm supposedly streaming. And as you can see from the title, I am now on Linux, and what that means is that I can finally publish my Rust projects. On Windows I had an issue where I used the Linux Rust binary to try to publish projects that were on the Windows file system. It was kind of confusing and made things very difficult for not a good reason. So what I want to do today is publish the 2 Rust projects that I have completed. First one, we're going to clone it, is cloner, and the other one will be twice. Great. So let's go to cloner, and I kind of forgot like what we even need to do to publish a project. So what do we have here? We have name, version, authors, license, description, readme, documentation, which by the way you don't need to specify, homepage, and blah blah blah. Okay. Let's immediately push this just to make sure. Remove doc specification because it's automatic. Because you don't actually need to specify it explicitly. It will generate the doc if it needs to. And then you can specify your own if you don't want to use the default. But I'm going to use the default. Okay, so how do we publish? We cargo, I guess, publish. Well, first of all, let's even look at what options we have here. Publish, yes. Okay, let's read the docs on publish, see what I can do here. Okay, so quiet index, registry index URL to upload. I think that it will figure out. Token to use, blah blah blah. Target directory, package. It's at the very least seems like I can just Rust publish, you know. First of all, let's check out what tags we have. So we have a tag, and matter of fact, we even have a release. Let's ggl, which will give us a link that we can open. Very useful, by the way. Oh, right, I forgot to do one very important thing. Popping out chat and also having it on my phone, so that I don't miss anything. With Kitty, a new terminal that I'm now using, it's so nice because you can set a hotkey to select a link that's on your screen, which is what I just did. And then you can also set a hotkey to select a path or a link that's on your screen, and say press 4, it then pastes into your command line. And then in Fish you can press Ctrl X to copy it, and that is so incredibly nice. GS I guess wouldn't do anything. Let's open something that I have changes. First of all, let's check where I even have those. Okay, we could go to info then. Let's go to info. Oh, it's here. Yeah. Right? So I can GS, and then I'm like, okay, I don't want to add all of them. So how about I get add, I use this, notes. Mwah, beautiful. It's so incredibly nice. I think my cat's meowing when I stream is just part of the deal. And I should just get used to it. I guess like I'm usually pretty quiet. I just sit around and do stuff, but when I'm streaming, obviously I'm speaking. And the cats are like, what? She's alive! Okay. I guess, in theory, what we should just do is cargo publish, and that will do its thing. So first of all, we have to cargo login. Cargo login. I wonder if this is safe to do on stream. Probably not, right? Okay, well, first of all, what is it? Create IO. And I'll need to add a search engine for that, because I used to have it back when I was in Windows. So I guess I need to... Okay, for this whole thing to be safe for me, what I'm gonna do is add another source, so window capture, terminal. I'll make you look at the terminal. Which window to share? Well, neither of those. Like that one. Okay, let's figure out this. Ooh, select window. No. Can I not? Is it because I have no title bars? I know it's a strange stretch, but maybe. Okay, well, let's then try something else here. Yeah, we don't need it. What else do we have here? Media source? I doubt it. Video capture. Yeah, I guess window capture. However, I don't understand why it doesn't catch the other windows. Okay, in that case, let's open Dolphin. And now it appears. I guess, yeah. Maybe it does indeed need to have a title bar to be able to be seen. Okay. Yeah. Let me see what it looks like on the stream right now. So I select it. And what do you see? Well, so supposedly you do see it, sure, but that's not the only thing that you see. Okay, well, what if I maximize it? What now? What I expect to happen is that you're just looking at Dolphin and you won't see how I like log in. I should have done this beforehand, gotta be honest. Okay, and now in a billion seconds. Wait, hold up. You can now see the window and then the window again. That's wild. Huh. I'm confused. Okay, let's close it and remove it. Let's try again. So I open Dolphin again, but now it's maximized. So I pick it in window capture. There's probably some easier and smarter way of doing this. Yeah. Okay, here you go. So now, if I am on the browser, you still won't see shit, right? I guess we'll see. And I think, yeah, I think that's it. Cool. So, let me log in quick, and then we'll come back to, like, the actual screen and all that. I should come up with some, I don't know, hotkey to have all this. To like hide the screen for a moment. Because when I'm recording a video, well, I can just edit it out. But when I'm streaming, just like, I can't really do that. Okay, getting the API token. Revoke the old one and get a new one. It's kind of cool how tokens are only seen once, and if you need it again, you have to create another one. It's like, that sounds safe. That's pretty cool. I know there's probably like, well, obviously, but I still find that very cool. Okay, how the fuck do I paste it? I guess like this. Very nice that you can see this. Now let me clear instead of just scroll back. I can close all this. Okay. Sorry for waiting. I'm gonna remove that so you can actually see the screen. And here you go. Nice. So now in theory, we can also close Dolphin. We can cargo publish. Is that it? Do you just publish and like you're done? Just yesterday I published Short Tracker. You can check it out if you want to. And the publishing process, I guess I haven't even looked at it yet, but even the building for release process is kinda like, fuck. Wow, it's that simple. That's crazy. Do we have a link to go there? Doesn't seem like that's the case. No, it doesn't. I would kind of wish it would give you a link to immediately go there, because now I need to actually search for it. But this opens up an opportunity to actually add a new search engine into my web search keywords. Would you look at that, right? I love Linux. Like, I used to have a runner on Windows, and honestly I love it. It's a great invention. And yes, I'm still going to call it an invention, even though it's like, even though I'm not the first person to come up with it. You can invent something even if it already exists, simply because you didn't know it did. And because of the immense configuration, wow, that's so cool. Oh my god. Okay. You can invent something even if it exists because you still came up with it. You didn't really grab the idea from somewhere else, you came up with it. But if you did get the idea from somewhere or somebody else, then yeah, you just created it, or recreated it, or implemented it, but you didn't quite invent it. Invention is for things that you come up with, whether or not they exist. Even if you're reinventing the wheel, which in Russian, by the way, is called reinventing the bicycle, which is pretty interesting. I wonder, what is that phrase in other languages? Crate, I guess just C. And shortcut name will be crates.io. And that's all it takes. Apply, okay. In my Googler on Windows, I would have to go into the files, change them, and reload the script, which is like not too bad, but not amazing either. I guess I could have made it so that data is being read from a config file, and that would be pretty similar. But I didn't, I guess. Okay, let's look at Oklaner, a word generator that specializes in useful words. And the README is here, which is so cool. I love this. Wow, so publishing is this simple? That's crazy. Actually, no, don't, because this is not a library. This is specifically just a terminal application. Everything is private, not exported from the crate. Okay. Well, let's do the same thing for twice. Cargo publish. And it should be as simple. It would probably be a reasonable idea to first look at the code, maybe like do some final touch-ups. But I'll just do it once I revisit the project, if I ever need to make it better in some sense. Okay. Twice. Kinda wild that this name wasn't taken. So what twice does, it randomly picks between two things you specify. Isn't that nice? So you can like twice heads, tails, and picks tails, or heads, or tails. It's a very, very, very simple program, but very useful. Say you're like in a chat and you need to like decide something, like you're in the Phantom Troop, and like you can just say twice and basically flip a coin, boom, tails, and you can decide between any two things. So twice, I don't know, buy, not buy, if you're trying to decide whether you should buy something. It's a pretty neat program, which is very nice. And now I'm realizing what you can do is it this? Fuck, I don't remember. A cargo install? And now you can install it like this. I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna try because I already have it installed, just in a different way. But I'm pretty sure that's how you can do it now. Which is, wow, amazing. Publishing is so easy. Okay. Great. So we published the Rust projects. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now, what I want to work on is very cool. You know how often in shell prompts you can have the git status things here, or actually I can even do this here. I'm going to do the same thing. I was thinking to rewrite my shell prompt in Rust, and I may do that in the future, but right now that's too big of a project to take in. That's a really loud car. So what I'm going to do is just make the functionality that I don't yet have in Rust implemented into my current prompt, and then maybe in the future I will write the whole prompt in Rust. So let's create a new repository called, hold up, first of all, let's list my repositories. What do we have here? Scripts. I'm looking for the, because I already, oh right, Octusi. So my shell prompt project is called Octusi. So what I'm gonna do is create Octusi get status. Should I be naming it with multiple words? Yeah, because I can then rename the project and have it not depend on the name of the repository. Am I going to regret this? No, I think this name is very reasonable. So let's just pick that. So let's go to Octusi. Boom. We have git and we have a license. The initial commit has already been done because of the license that we now have. But I'm still going to do a quote-unquote first commit. So let me actually show off by showing you a picture what the prompt is going to look like. Wow, god damn, Dolphin is so beautiful. I'm so like far away from using the file explorer because on Windows it's just kind of so I use the terminal always, but here it's actually kind of beautiful. I think it's in themes and here it is. So what you're looking at to the right is how it's going to look. Fuck, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, the fuck. Okay. Yeah. After the branch name, but before the status of the last executed command, we're going to get how many commits you have to push, how many staged things you have, how many unstaged things you have. Oh, this is modifications, and this is how many unstaged things you have. The reason I haven't done this beforehand, the reason why I don't have this functionality now, is because in Windows, it was incredibly fucking slow. I ran git status and I had to wait like a significant amount of time for this to work. But here on Linux, I git status multiple directories and it's like immediate, pretty much. So now I can actually afford to have this functionality. So, how do we start? First of all, we git init. That's not the first thing we do. Is there actually any issue with having this binary have dashes in it, there's no actual issue. So we don't even need to rename it, I think. So let's get init. No, not get init, first of all. Cargo init. I think it doesn't allow dashes. It should be with underscores. Let's try that out. Cargo init. Really? It's fine. I'm surprised. Okay. Let's conf to make formatting what I want it to be. And that's it so far. Let's open it in VS Code. Let's start working on it. Maybe I should remove the rich presence thing because it's kind of annoying. Oh, I'm used to C#. So I'm like, why is there no program file? Yeah, I wonder. So tabs, and there are 3 spaced, which I realize is weird for a lot of people, but I like it. Okay, what happens if I not .NET run, cargo run? Yeah, it's actually fine with dashes. I'm surprised. I think it wasn't. Maybe it then is not fine with underscores in names. I do remember it's complaining. Maybe it was complaining about spaces. I don't quite remember. Okay, so we have hello world. So what are we going to be working with? Let's GES. Oh, well, here we go. So we're going to pass the output of get status-s into the command. And then we're going to use regex to find the amount of lines that have 2 question marks, for example. Let's actually try this out so I can be sure. Yeah. So if we pass get status into somewhere, we won't pass color formatting, so you won't have to worry about it. So here we have the amount of unstaged files. So we just count the lines that have these characters, and here we go. Then we can get add, get ignore, for example. Check it again, and here we have A, which means that this is now staged. Then we also have M for modified. What else do we have? I forget. Let's open in XD open the file of this. Yeah, so right. Also the amount of commits we have yet to push. The staged changes, modified changes, and new changes. Okay, this is not too difficult. It also used to have like merge conflicts, but I don't think I'm going to implement that. I don't particularly care about it right now. Okay. It's fucking bugged out. Okay. Well, first of all, what we should do is GCR to have our first commit. Okay. Now, what I want to do immediately is probably use clap. I could, in theory, just not do that, but I think it simplifies things more than it complicates them. So I'm going to cargo add clap. It's just kind of simpler that way, you know? So, oh my god, does it also, holy shit. So on Windows, what I had to do is restart the server myself anytime that I added a new dependency for the IntelliSense to start working again. But it seems like it does it automatically here, which is great. Okay, so use clap, I guess. Use clap. No. Parser, yes, because we need to parser struct args. We actually should move that into a different place. Yeah, I don't quite remember how the fuck you use clap. I remember most things, but not very well. But I have other projects that use clap, so I'll just look at them. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is args rs, so you can move that whole thing into its own file. And here we just specify module args. The Rust file, oh, well now it is, don't worry. I guess I did something wrong here. We'll get to that as well. Maybe, oh, right, you do it like this in Rust. Already confusing languages. Okay, so what I want to do right now, probably open another window, tab I guess, go to Rust, look at Cloner that also uses clap. So we add parser, and we did do that, but here we use derive parser. Huh. Can I find derive macro parser in the scope? It should. Don't I declare? Or do I have to do it here? Really? You declare modules inside of them? Is that true? No, it doesn't seem to be that way. No, you specified there. Mod args. And now there's an issue. What? That's wild. Well, I guess we still haven't done everything that we need to do. So let's just continue. We also add debug that I don't yet need, to be fair. And args isn't necessarily going to be re-exported, so maybe you don't need that yet. So let's just not add it yet. Then command author about long about. Okay, author about long about is none. Command next line help is true. Command next line help is true. It is going to be public. Really? Why is that the case? Maybe I do need to restart the server. I did add clap, but IntelliSense doesn't seem to recognize it. Weird. Let's build. So we build clap for sure. And I know that it will fail too. That's normal. Yeah. Okay, what else? So we just use clap parser here. Case is my own thing, so we don't necessarily need it. Yeah, in terms of syntax, everything is good. And we define args there. Okay, well, let's actually start making it. What is so arg. So the first argument will be status. And I think yeah, it should be public. Actually, no, not necessarily. If we do things with it here, it doesn't need to be. So let's not start out with it being public. Status, and you specify the type. The type is a string because we pass the literal thing. Arg only long. This is not really expected to run with the short option. You're supposed to put it in your fish prompt. So having a short option really isn't necessary here. Default value shouldn't be here, because I think we do the logic of whether we get status prior. Let's check that out. So built-in or prompty actually. Fish prompt pwd status, that's a different status. I see. So here in my prompt, I get the current branch if it exists. And then if it does, we set the branch, and now this is the exact check that we need to do to even see whether we can get status. And if we can just run the program with surety, so we don't need to make like checks in this program, because the checks are being done on the fish's side. And to add, I'm not really intending this specific project to be like highly usable by other people. This is mostly for me, but it's going to be pretty easy to use if you do want to. Just not exactly a full-on shell prompt that you can configure to like full lengths. Like, no, not quite. So long, we don't need default value. It's strange that it still complains. Okay, what I'm gonna do is switch to the stack thing. Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah. So this one, and we open bacon here. Cannot find derive macro parser in this scope. Only a trait without a derive macro. Huh. Parser is imported here, but it is only a trait without a derive macro. Cannot find attribute command in this scope. Oi. What? I thought... Wait. I thought I fucking set the hotkeys, goddamn. Hold up. I thought I did. No such file or directory. Oh, I didn't know that. So, .config. Sure, let's create that. .config bacon. So now when I run bacon, nice. Cannot find attribute command in this scope. Wild. I thought that... Let's look at the cargo toml. I do add clap, but to be fair, it may be a different version from what I'm using here. So let's check if that's true. Oh! Ah! That's good to know. I forgot to actually add the feature. Do I need to? Yes, I need to specifically say that this is a version. And features derive. That's good to know. I thought I installed, yeah, obviously. Cool. So now it should be fine. Nice. That was the issue. I see. So now we provide status. Let's go back to look at prompt. So we check for branch. We check for branch, and if it didn't fail, then we set the branch. This is also where we will call this program that will display our status. I also want to pass another function, which is in a different file here. I think here, not GSA, GSP. Okay, so let's GSP, and we see, I think, -L, something like this, 0. Ooh, this is amazing. This is incredible, actually. So we can, oh wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. Basically, since we already have a check for whether this is a Git repository or not, we can also be sure that GSP and counting its lines will work correctly as well. So we don't even need to have a none type here, rather an option type. We can be sure that we pass an integer, which is so cool. Okay, so arg long commits, right? Is this a good name? Basically, commits is how many commits you still have to push. I think it's fine, but not necessarily great. What if you didn't push like 100,000 commits? U32 is probably like the thing to pick. Okay, well, I can make it use size, which is also fine. Okay. So we added args. Well, let's actually commit this change. Add args with clap. I love this actually. I love this so much. So this is a kitty layout. I have multiple. They look very similar because they look different if you have more than two. So horizontal, vertical, and their names are actually reversed very strangely. Then fat and tall, stack, meaning that they stack on each other, which is very nice. For something like bacon, it's brilliant. And grid, so if we add two more here, it would appear here and here. Yeah, so let's go back to stack. Great. So now we have a way of passing it. Status is just a string, and commits is the amount, so we can immediately be all good and fine with that. Now I want to add parser. Wow, she's meowing so much. Hold up. All right, I fed them, so they should be chilled out, at least for some time. So what parsers are going to do is take in and own args. Does it need to? Maybe not necessarily, but so far it takes args and gives us another struct that contains all the values for all the things. Formatted as strings. In which case we'll need to add a new dependency, but that's a bit later. So first thing that I want to do is create a struct, which will need to be public, Parser. So what this type should be called is, actually we don't need to pass the whole args. We can just pass status in this case. So it will accept a string to get all the other information, and commits will already have. Okay, so it will parse status specifically. Stats? Is stats okay? Modifications maybe. I'll call it stats for now. For now. Famously, it's going to stay that way always. What, does it not like stats? Oh, it's never used. We'll get to that, don't worry. So, what are the types that are going to be there? Let's history merge just to be sure. And dolphin, no, not that. Really? Okay, dolphin, and we pick this. Oh, that's because I open it with, hold up. I need to just pick the file. Yeah, just copy its path, quit this, so now it's in my history. Yeah, why am I opening it with dolphin? That's stupid. So we have staged, modified, unstaged. Those are the three things that we may have, right? So when you first add the file, it's unstaged. You can then stage it. So you do a new commit, you change that file, those are modifications. There's no such thing as an addition. Is that true? It might not be. Let's go to programming and create a new directory called testy, which is very funny. Really? I would hope it would recognize it. So let's get init here. Touch ABC. We have ABC here. What's the get status? All of them are unstaged. I staged C, and now it's A. It has A here. I commit it. Bleh. Now let's get status here. Let's open C in NeoVim, add bleh also. What's the get status? It's modified. There is also renaming. Let's add C again, commit bleh 2. Okay, let's open C in NeoVim again. Okay, so it's bleh. We move C into D. Now D is deleted. D is deleted, but C, yeah, C is deleted, D is unstaged. We add C and D, we get R. So there's also rename. Right, I was forgetting about that. So if we missed this, then this wouldn't be staged, it wouldn't be A, it would be R, but you would think that, oh, actually, no staging here happening. Right, good call. So what we have is unstaged, and we always need the amount. On usize, we might turn that into an option usize. Not sure though, yet. Usize, it's never going to be less than 0, so that's why it's unsigned. Modified, also usize, and renamed. I wonder if there are any other things. Right, what happens if we... yeah, let's also commit it as blah3. What happens if we... I guess, yeah, we just modify it. Oh. No. Now it's D, right? Let's open D in NeoVim, change it. Will it be A if we stage D? It will be M here. Ah. So modified. So it can be unstaged, staged, meaning A, modified, renamed. So what I was thinking about staged is capital A, green capital A, but what I expected is capital M, the green capital M. So we need to separate them, I think. It will be helpful, I think. So staged, we should rename to added, and then staged is usize again, where now this means green capital M. And that should be all of them. So we have unstaged, those are the 2 question marks. We still have, let's add A. What happens here? We get A, meaning it's added. We have staged, which is green capital M. Modified is modified but not yet staged, and renamed is a special one that is, yeah, renamed. So this is actually going to be a bit of a richer get status thing than I had anywhere, which is pretty cool. Okay. So, parser. There will be one function that takes in a string. And that string will be getStatus. So this. It will then parse it and create this struct and return it. And then we'll have a colorizer that will take in stats I think it's going to be more type safe if I just pass args into parser, and from args we know for sure that this is status, which is a string also, and we also have commits. So commits usize as well, which is just going to be taken from this, and then we can pass stats, nothing else by the way, into colorizer to build the entire thing. I think that is going to be a bit better actually than have it be separated. Yeah, I do think so. So in parser, we parse. What I want to do first is echo get, or rather get status s, and basically see what? Oh, that's fucking, oh my god, that's Interesting. I thought that, this is not a space. Oh my god, this is amazing. I haven't ever noticed it. In Windows Terminal, whenever I tried to select something, it would select literally everything. Literally everything. But here I can't select something if it's not there. I don't even need to do this weird ass thing because here I am. So this is the first character. So we have a first character, a second one, and everything else we don't have to care about. And also what I recognize, we don't necessarily need to check for both question marks. We can just check if the first character is a question mark, and then we can be sure that it's an unstaged file. Wow. Wow. This is going to be more interesting and easier than I thought. So this function will be public, naturally, because we'll need to use it. It will take in args and return a stats. Hey new people that just joined. I'm making get status. Let me show this. Basically, I want to re-implement this. No, this. But I guess better. Turns out I didn't expect to make it better, but it's pretty simple to do so actually. So that's what I'm working on. Currently, we're passing the output of get status s and GSP, this basically, 3. What is this shit? Let me explain, or rather show. GSP checks the remote, GSP basically gives the part of get log that shows you how many commits you still have that you haven't pushed. And we count the lines of that, and here we go. We have the amount of commits that we have to push. Okay, so those are the arguments that we need to pass into the program. Then those arguments go into the parser that takes those arguments and parses pretty much only the get status into this struct that has all the possible information that we may have. So currently I'm on the step of implementing that parser, and it shouldn't be that difficult, I think. I might eat my words in the future, but we'll see, I guess. Parse, right? Just parse. Sounds good to me. We take, first of all, we use create args of type args, and we return stats. Oh, fn. Completely forgot about that. Oh, you don't return stats yet. We'll get to it, don't worry. Okay. So we'll need to have an iterator go through lines. So let's do that. Args, now I actually need to make them public for parser to be able to use them. Status, iter, or I guess into iter. How do I make it into an iterator? It's a fucking string. Right, lines. So now we have lines. This is an iterator, and we can do things per each line. Interesting thing that we also have to account for. A file can be immediately staged, the first M, and modified but not staged. So 2 M's are possible. We need to account for that. For each? Yes, for each. Oh my god, I have so many windows open. Here's the chat. Hello! Finally doing shit in Rust. The language is so much better that I keep getting surprised. Let me close some windows that we don't necessarily need. Okay. Yeah, we don't need this. We might need this, I don't know. Yeah, so we have M and D. Let's open D again and add more changes. And now it has double M's. Damn, you're publishing a project. Nice. I already did, actually. At the start of the stream, I published Uklaner and twice. And now you can supposedly, I'm not sure, just cargo install Uklaner and it will work, I think. Same thing about twice. And binstall should give you a benefit, because I published the Linux, at the very least, binaries, along with the project. Pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, yeah, my PC cannot take small latency. It's just impossible. Even with normal latency on Linux, for some odd reason, it sometimes goes crazy. So, like, yeah. First of all, what I want to do is make it a bit more clear what types are where. For each, what do I do here? Calls a closure on each element of an iterator. Right, so how do we name this? How do we name this? For each, I guess line, we do something. We'll probably need to make those public in the future, but that's for in the future. So first of all, we create the struct that is modifiable. Is that the way to do it though? Okay, line a slice until the first character. If, hold up, we match it. I can install your project using cargo install. Fuck yeah. Nice. I don't think I've shown twice yet. I mean, I have already on the stream, but let me re-show it. Twice, heads or tails. This program will randomly pick between two things that you specify, which is very useful. Okay, so we match what could the first character be. If it is capital M, then we do yeah, let's not do anything yet. If it's A, we also to do R to do anything else. Nothing. Something like this. It works except this. Let me just look at bacon, you know? Slice string indices are ranges of view size. The type string cannot be indexed by integer. Huh. That's interesting. I see. Ah, we use the chars thing. Okay. Let chars line chars. So now we have the iterator. Bacon is basically a nice tool for Rust for you to be able to auto run cargo check, cargo clippy, cargo run, cargo build, all that stuff with simple hotkeys. So you just open it, and if you're on Linux, then it will rerun anytime any changes are done in the file, which is mwah. So bacon is very helpful. We have chars, and we can call next on it. nth, I think, consumes the thing. Okay. Let me redo this. So chars. Let... What? Why are you suddenly lagging? Let... Or rather, match chars next. Do we have a guarantee that next has a value? I think we need to unwrap it. So if you passed git status, right, what happens if you call git status on a git repository that is true, but there's no git status? So you do nothing. Okay. If let sum first is chars next, else return kind of heating up trying to think about this. Yeah, and we return an empty stats, which is why I think we should create the stats first and then modify it. Some crates failed to install, huh? I don't know why. I have no clue. Basically, what I'm thinking hold up. If there's no input, right. Let's go to some repository that is a repository but has nothing in it. Let's go to music then. So we're in music, and if we get status S, nothing happens. Did it fail though? It didn't fail. If it did, echo hi would say hi. Test get hold up. Test get status dash S. String collect not equal to an empty string. What? Okay, well, let's try to do it some other way. What do you mean missing argument at index 3? It's not. Let's go to built-in because I recently used something like that. strange. Okay, well, we can do it a different way then. So if this is true, we say hi. Okay, so we can do this logic on the shells side. Or we could do it on the Rust side. Yeah. So in main, we will eventually create args. Get status may be empty, but commits aren't. So if that's, I guess, why we need to separate get status and commits in parser, where this is not a thing that we'll have here. So commits may be empty or not. But then status is separate. So we just take in status and so on. So instead of taking the whole args, we take a string But yeah, now we don't need args. But if the string turns out to be empty, we just make that check in main and never call parser. Never call parser and never call colorizer. And I guess colorizer will have a separate thing for commits and for status. All right. It got incredibly hot because I'm thinking so much. So I'm going to be ending stream and probably go eat, reconnect.